I know exactly what you're thinking. Why is centralized security management for network resources so confusing? Wait, you weren't thinking that? Well, now that you are, let me show you what a domain controller is and why your organization needs one. This is your company. These are your users, and these are all your computers. What if all your users could sign into any one of these computers without having to set up their own individual account on every single one? And what if on every single computer they could have access to all their files? And what if you could automatically configure security policies for your users and devices? With a domain controller, all of this is possible. So come on, let me show you. This is Active Directory. This is what makes all these things possible. This company.local is my domain. For now, you can just think of it as your network. Let's create our first user. We will go here, create a new user. Let's name him Billy Joel. Random name. Let's make his username bjoel. Password, let's see. Let's just create a little something here. And I'm going to hit next. Finish. Boom, we just created our first user. So let's see if he can sign in to one of our devices. So I'm going to use one of my virtual machines. That's a Windows 10 computer. If you don't know what virtual machines are, don't worry about it. Just think of it like a regular computer. So I'm going to sign in with that username we just made, which was bjoel, and the password. Let's see if it works. Billy Joel is signing into our computer right now. That's crazy. And as you can see now, we are signed into the computer like normal. And this account, this user, can do this on any PC on the domain, unless there are some weird configurations, but don't worry, that's for another video. Now, I mentioned something else that's really cool, which is having a shared network drive on any PC where the user can access their files on any PC on the domain. So how do we do that? Well, I'm back on my domain controller, which is also functioning as a file server. So I already did a bit of the nerdy IT stuff. So if I go to PC and the C drive, I created this network share. Now, in here, I have 3 folders, and I already enabled sharing on here, and this would be the path. Now, don't worry, your systems administrator, network administrator, IT, help desk, they'll do this for you. But I'm going to show you real quick. I copy that, and I'm going to create what's known as a group policy. You're probably wondering, hey, what's group policy? Well, group policy is a management feature that allows you to configure settings for users and computers in Active Directory. If you didn't understand that, don't worry, I'm about to show you. And actually, I already created one earlier called map netshare, and I'm just going to drag this to my company users, which means every user I create in that my company users group is going to have that drive mapped. I'm going to sign back in to that Windows PC, and I'm going to sign in as Billy Joel. Now that we are back and signed in as Billy Joel, let's take a look in here. We'll go to this PC, network share, and let's see, can we actually get into this network share? Oh, well, these are the 3 folders I have in my file server. Why you need a domain controller? Because they're amazing? Cool. Now, let's go back to our file server / domain controller and take a look. So, I created this network share with these 3 folders, and I used group policy to put them on this computer whenever a domain user signs in. If that's confusing, don't worry about the technical stuff. Just know your users can now access their files from any computer on the domain. Now, what about cybersecurity? Well, with group policy, you can do some other things. For example, maybe you don't want your users to use command prompt for whatever reason. Well, let me show you how to do that with group policy. let's go back to our domain controller and let's create a new group policy. We'll go to Group Policy Management. We will click on here and then click New, and let's call it Disable CMD for command prompt. And now that we have that here, let's go to Edit. We're going to go to User Configuration, Policies, Administrative Templates, System, and prevent access to the command prompt. We're going to enable it, hit Apply, hit OK. Gonna close out of here, and I want to drag this to my company users once again. And now, none of the users in that group will be able to access command prompt. So let's test that out. Now, if you remember, we have another user named Christian Hoover in that same group, whoever that is. So let's check under his account. Let's see what's going on. That's the username. Christian Hoover is signing in, whoever that is. Now, let's check command prompt. Can I open this? The command prompt has been disabled by your administrator. Now, do I also have the network share? Why, yes, I do. This is just the beginning for domain controllers. Hopefully you see how powerful they are, and maybe your organization needs one.